Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome back here to PTM Racing TV. We're live here tonight for the first time ever, the showcase of Thunderstorm League of Racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The youngest and the brightest and the stars of our alignment are here and now. They are looking to showcase their finest and best with this new league premiering on the show and premiering to you fans out there looking to showcase what they are capable of. Hi again, everyone. I am Christian, the Considered Striver, and welcome back to the show as always as we present to you here live from PTM Racing TV studios here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Tonight, we present to you our grading order here for the Thunderstorm League of Racing. On the pole, it'll be Steve Accardi, and then a 04 is outside. It'll be Noah Wilson in the number 8. Run number 2 is going to be Daniel M. Mosteller, and the 87 is outside. That's Devin Mosley, and then 29. Run number 3 is going to be Braden Muvik, and the 56 is outside. That is Joshua Parent, the 27. Run number 4 is going to be Jerry Rodriguez, and the 2 is outside. That's Mason Moriarty here in the 22. Row 5 sees Donald Sadusky in the 19 is outside. Jeff Ramsdell in the 97 is outside. Row number 6, that'll be Sean Derryman in the 24 is outside. It's Austin Walker in the number 55. Row number 7 is going to be Justin Campbell in the 18 is outside. It's the 42 Lee Tidwell. Row number 8, Sean Lester in the 47 who is outside. That, of course, will be Everett Lane in the 21. Row number 9 is Brian Huntley Jr. in the 54 is outside. That's Philip Bridgman in the 48. Row number 10, it's Rick Sosa in the 41 is outside. Jay Spaker, the 77. Row 11 sees Jarrett Manning in the 16 is outside. That'll be Richard Crane, the 36. Row 14 sees Ryan Decker row 12 sees Ryan Decker in the 10 is outside. That is the 12. That's Derek Castor. Row number 13. That'll be Byron Barlett in the 7. The race control is outside. Then final stars Art Mill in the 15. And then Charles Catton in the 13. And race fans, you hear them rumbling to life. The motors coming through to you. They are here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway here in Las Vegas, Nevada. They're ready to showcase their finest and brightest here on the track and on the show. This looks to be the finest that they can get it. So here they are, field working their way off and around the corners and around the track here. You get a good look at just some of the young and bright stars that are looking to make a name for themselves. Some you've seen before, some you've never seen whatsoever. And now they're about to showcase themselves with the Xfinity Series here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's going to be a hard, long night and a hard, long fight to the end. But for these drivers, there's only one thing they know now, which is to start the race and get her going. Green flag in the air, 90 laps to the distance. We are off to the races. Off the run here, through the chicanes, down to the corners, out of turn 2 we go here. A little bit of trouble there, right out of turn 2. With problems right out of the gate. We got a caution. Caution's out. Caution is out. At the number 19 and 4. Oh, ouch. The 8 there, Joey Rodriguez getting collided in. There you see a 27. Unfortunate as well. Joshua Parent involved. I believe I saw the 77 Chase Baker in that mess as well here. That was a bit of a wild gun for the start. I don't know where that went wrong other than knowing we need to go check the PTM Instant Replay. Take a look at this one here and see why that happened and what transpired here to even get this to happen to begin with. Here is a PTM Instant Replay in all of its glory. Looks like 27 went down low, tried to evade the 29, but unfortunately there, Joshua Parent was not able to get out of the way of the 29. Ended up getting himself into more of a mess than he wanted to. Devin Mosley getting away from the wreck. Not exactly escape free, but he got away from it mostly. He'll be able to keep it on fighting, keep it on the track here, and hopefully ring out a set for the track, set out for his crew and his team here. He's going to have a little bit of work to do though, considering the circumstances that he just went through on that car. So as they get things cleared up around here and get ready to field him back into the positions, we present it back to the live feed here now. That was our first caution of the night here, and a little bit surprising to say the least, because these drivers came in with such hype, such of a nervosity here of trying to make some seeds and make some runs off. I don't think they were expecting to really get themselves caught up in a bad spot right out of the gate. So if this is your first time new to the channel here and the first time you've ever seen PTM Racing TV, first off, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy this race. Of course, we are here on the Facebook end, but if you do not know how to see this race afterwards, and you maybe got a friend or family member that wants to see it later, of course we have this up on YouTube following right after the race, so be sure to take a look out there and subscribe there. And then if you like what you see on here, like and follow us up as well. Helps out both our channels, helps out both of our streams. And of course, if you want to see more of these guys here, of course do hit that like button down below, because I know Thunderstorm League of Racing seems like a great group of guys. I've talked with a little bit of them earlier today, and boy, they were young, hungry, and confident at making some surefire moves and making some runs off in this series and in this race. And I know just as well as anything, they would love to showcase their best and their brightest when it comes to out here. And right now, they're doing what they can with what they can at the moment, considering they had their first caution of the night pop up because of the turn 2 incident. That turn 2 is going to be a bit of a trouble nuisance all night long here for these drivers. Las Vegas holds no boundaries when it comes to making the best work for it and the best fight for it time and time again. As they start to wheel them off here, off the corners here, down through turn 4. This next time by, we trade the yellow, we go green. At the 0-4, Steve Arcade will be the man to beat, while Noah Wilson will hunt him down on the 8. Off the green flag restart though, it is Arcade who gets the run, and they're off and running. Brian Hunley Jr. there in the Interstates Battery 54. We know him all too well. We've seen him before with the show and in some other leagues, as Jeff Ramsdell even making a little surprise return out here. Lining them down on the back straightaway though. It is a 22 of Mason Moriarty. Now hunting down the 18 of Justin Campbell, while Campbell tries to move the chain to keep the virtual racing school up and grabs. He's got the 56 now, Braden Muvic right behind him. A little bit of a double off entry. Side by side, the 8 there. Noah Wilson kind of backing off his corners and trying to give himself some breathing room. But being up on that top side there, I can tell you one thing is for sure, that's not a good area to build up speed. Matter of fact, it actually hurts your run more than anything being up there, unless you've got a car that is pretty much designed and built to make it up there. Most drivers, though, will tell you they like to run more of that bottom lane, more of the bottom end as they go 3 wide saloon there out of turn 3 and 4. The number 10 there, I believe that is Rick Sosa. I believe we got his eye on him right now. Yes, we do actually. That is a 10. So you may notice something here when I go onto the onboard camera here. His number is not reflective of his actual car. And if I gotta say it once, I'll say it again. That is because that is a custom number being driven out there. So sometimes these custom numbers don't exactly match up the way they're supposed to compared to the actual race drivers here. But he's trying to hunt down Donald Sadowski in that 19. Meanwhile, Sadowski, he's saying, well, right about now, I'm not really worried about who's behind me. I'm more worried about trying to knock down this other guy ahead of me. That's Joshua Perrin, the 27. He holds the reins of 15th here as we go back up to the front. A battle for the race lead with Steve Arcady and Mr. Daniel M. Mosteller right now back to the bottom, back on the run, looking for an opening on the inside. Zaxby 04, Steve Arcady giving him plenty of room down there. He knows he's got to hold him down. He does it very well indeed, as you see. Every driver for themselves here on PTM Racing TV, and again with only about 1/9 of the way completed, no telling what to expect here with these Thunderstorm of League of Racing drivers. I love that name, by the way, just a really cool name, Thunderstorm League of Racing. It's like, for all of you people out there that like talk about League of Legends and Raid Shadow Legends, like, I think we can all agree that the Thunderstorm League of Racing is just probably like one of the more killer names I've heard in a long time. That's a great name for a league. I will give them that any day of the week. Sounds more like a video game title rather than it actually does a league, like an actual racing league, but I think it's what makes it so cool. It's just something different and fresh. I'll give them credit for that any day of the week. Mason Moriarty here right now, trying to move his way back down the bottom. Trying to get any speed he can to catch back up there around Justin Campbell in the number 18. Campbell continuing to stay in draft, stay in motion though. The virtual racing school driver trying to keep himself in a stabilized spot, stabilized position. As the race lead changes now to Braden Muvik. Muvik managing to sneak ahead and keep himself out of play and out of way of Daniel M. Mulsteller. Mulsteller had a runoff though for a little while in the DMOS machine. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! He managed to get a little tag there for the 18, but what a save! Justin Campbell tags him coming down turn 3, but he manages to bring the car right back in and saves it. Beautifully executed, but the only downside is that's going to slow him down. Double trouble approves. He now loses 2 spots. That is to the 8 of Noah Wilson and to the 22 of Mason Moriarty. Meanwhile, Jeff Ramsdell making his return to PTM Racing TV, comes back onto the track with a little vengeance here. He's up 3 spots. He started 10th. He's up 7. Man, that's A7 though, I'll tell you what, Musteller had to literally work the wheels out to hold that thing online. Remember, he was coming off of turn 4, and that's like the worst end to come out of, because the reason why is there's a little bit of a flat spot down there where you can hit it just right. It actually sends you kind of upwards a little bit, trajectory into that wall protection off of either 4 or 2. You can see right there, there it is right there. Moriarty, the same thing we saw happen in that first wreck earlier on. He just got a little too aggressive, gets up to the high side, ends up tagging the wall, and ends up kind of get it back down in, trying to keep it away from more trouble. But there is a little slight damage, a little ripple on the right fender. Not thinking it's going to affect him too much on speeds. If anything, the aerodynamics will still hang in there, and his car will be all right. But that's kind of that's a bad spot to really find yourself in, and you don't want to ever see yourself going into. James Seagroves right now, the number 74, trying to keep his Valvoline Joker machine up ahead of what would be the 10 there, but that's actually the, yeah, that is the 10 of Rick Sosa. It would be the 41, if you will, but we're not looking at that we're not looking at the sim racing numbers. We're looking at the custom numbers on these bad boys. Jerry Rodriguez even trying to pull in double duty with the 8s here. As you see, now he goes in the bottom lane looking for a runoff here. He's built some speed. And a beautiful snap mirror down on the bottom lane, snapping it straight inside of the 42. Lee Tidwell not able to hold him off with a freaky fast broadcasting car there, but the 74 of Seagroves is now falling even further back and giving more trouble around here. I think he was expecting there. Jared Manning gets smacked down in the middle there on the back straightaway, but holds it on. So that's 2 great saves so far. You got to give them all that for this here. You guess if you find yourself into trouble, man, they'll find a way to keep themselves in play and keep them in check, and that is certainly a move that is extremely difficult to master. Lining them off down on the back straightaway here. Every driver for themselves. Everyone looking for openings where they can. Mason Moriarty there at 22, trying to hold the 24 of Sharon Dairyman as well back. Dairyman, the Jack's Chaos. Jags machine currently up in the rhythm section of top 10. He's in 8th. We'll go on board with him. Boy, if you just listen to that horsepower he brings off, those exits are extremely tight to handle and powerful to hit, but you see a little bump and run rubbing his racing style mentality from these guys. Certainly makes for a more fun show to watch. And the 22 of Mason Moriarty got a little thing or two of it from that 24. I think you kind of got reminded, yeah, this is a contact sport. Whoever said this was no contact sport, I think they may have been living in the 90s a little bit too much when those cookie cutters were made, because this is not the same objective here these days and age. In 2021, we ain't playing those games anymore. We're having fun out here. Sean Thomas Lester there, the 47 onboard camera here drilled in as you see him trying to hunt back down Joshua Parent. Right there you see as he comes off of that spot at turn 4, that's that flat spot area I was talking about earlier on. It gets you a little more up into the right side, kind of brings you more towards that wall protection. Now again, you can't corner off it and make sure you don't lose too much speed, but the downside is turning in too much obviously shreds your tires and you lose a lot of runoff from it. So the biggest thing that a lot of these guys have been looking forward to or trying to gain after is keeping more in check, more online and away from over accentuating the throttle and overdoing any kind of momentum boost down there, as there's problems down there for James. He has come to a sudden halt and crashed it and put it into pit road, so he'll end that one here tonight. A tough break there for James Seagroves. It is good to see him back on the track, and been a long time coming because we have not seen him since the Split Decision Racing League days. You saw earlier guys like Jeff Ramsdale, Brian Huntley Jr., they all come from the Wolfpack Racing League crew. But tonight here, running with the Thunderstorm League of Racing here, really showcasing what they can do against these other young drivers, these young guns, young talents, call them what you will. To me, they are absolute barn burner drivers that can fight it out with the best of them and really make a showcase of themselves and their abilities on this track. Jerry Rodriguez here, a little bit of, well, I guess you could say a little glitch graphic gremlin kind of popped in there for a minute on his end. No, that's not us doing it. The 13 of Charles Cotton there coming off the top side though. He seems to hold him back. Or Catton, excuse me, not Cotton. I don't know why I said Catton. I think maybe I was just trying to switch the A for an O, and instead I realized that's a no-go. So my apologies there, Catton. So far here, it's been Muvik that has just been weighing waste and laying the speeds in, keeping everybody at bay. Hasn't really had any troubles or struggles here, making his distance and making his runs off throughout this event here. He's been pretty much on his peak and on his nose here, making sure he can stay with it. Coming around here, Steve Accardi right now in the 04. I hope I'm saying his last name right. I'm pretty sure it has Accardi there. If I am saying it wrong, folks in the comment section, I do read your comments. You can let me know down below if I am saying someone's name wrong, and feel free to come at me if I'm not, because I want to make sure we get everyone taken care of here when we're on these racetracks and on these races. But Accardi tonight started in the race, started up in that top spot on the pole, and right now the Zaxby 04 only down 2 spots here, trying to hunt himself back in line. A lot of strategy plays out here for him and his crew, obviously, when it comes to the racing aspect of it for a multitude of reasons. But the main thing is, when you see a driver kind of backing down like that all of a sudden, they're really trying to either save themselves and save their tires. Not necessarily worried about the buildup, they're more worried about trying to stay under control and stay in rhythm. On the outskirts, on the outside now, though, you can see the 18 of Justin Campbell kind of getting pushed up there a little bit because Accardi decided, hey, I want to go back down low. I want to see where this one goes. He makes his move and makes his charge. Now he is making it all the way back up to the front here with Muvik trying to catch back up with him. Muvik just shows the telling of the tale here and how fast Accardi is catching back up. Gained about a couple of tenths of a second there, just on those corners alone. That is why I told you earlier on, when you're slowing down a bit, it means you're trying to build up speed for the later half, because again, if you're driving too hard off the start, tires tread up a little bit, rubber goes away, then there's just not much speed you have. And at Las Vegas, let's just say if you burn those tires up too much, they will make you pay. And they don't make you pay in the nice ways. They make you pay with the car and your whole chances of winning here. As I always say right here, it's just old Vegas here, given Las Vegas, Nevada, of course. Joshua Parent's making his way down to the bottom end here, and I think he's starting to think, well, maybe I should roll the dice then and try to get myself back up to the front. He'll make his charge up from Mason Moriarty. Moriarty in trouble as the 10 of Ryan Decker now, starting to come up in rhythm a little bit. Looks like something going on down there though. Looks like maybe Sean Diamond. There's problems in there. Trying to get a camera on him. We cannot find him on the show. There's Sean Derryman, excuse me. Looks like he went into the grass a little bit, opened his lawn care service, but it looks like instead of that focusing in, we got a little bit of a runoff as a little bumping and banging action happens right behind everybody. Rick Sosa got a little whiff of a taste there from Jared Manning in the 16 coming off the back straightaway. Chase Baker got a full look of it, managing to keep himself out of trouble, but nevertheless, everybody remains in the clear zone and stays out of trouble. We've only had one caution so far here tonight. Out of all this madness and all this chaos, it's pretty impressive to say they even got one caution in, much less even two, much less even thought about putting a caution on the track. But when you're packed up that close and you're that close together, man, it can get a little bit dangerous out here for these drivers. 54 Brian Huntley Jr. now making his way back onto PTM Racing TV with his onboard camera here with the Interstate Batteries machine. Hey boy, I tell you one thing, man. This guy right here, you watch out for him at times. He can catch you when you least expect it, and he makes you work for every little ounce of it. He's up 11 spots at the moment. Not the hard start of the night though. That honor belongs to the Paul Davis number 12. That is Derek Castor. He is 16 up. He's right now started in 24th. He made his way into 8th, and boy, oh boy, he certainly has a lot of speed built up around this track. That is for certain. Keeping his shots alive as the Busch Light number 55, Austin Walker. I can officially say it's Iowa's favorite trick-or-treat candy around these parts. He's currently moving the chains and moving it quicker up into the ranks here. Jeff Jones coming back at later saying it's pronounced Accardi. Accardi? You're saying it right now. Oh, Accardi. Yeah, Accardi? For the record, folks, he's talking about the 04 Zaxby's Chevrolet Camaro. That's Steve Accardi. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right now. I think I got it. Thank you for the heads up there, Jones. Appreciate it, sir. So Accardi right now trying to get there with Muvik. It's still about 0.3 of a second back of him at the moment. Speed starting to escalate quicker as we go along, though, but Derek Castor still seemingly right there with Austin Walker. A little trouble down there for Rick Sosa, though. Oh, major trouble. He's got a whole front end completely destroyed out on there on the back stretch. No caution given out yet here. We'll take a look, though, and see what happened to the 10 here. I don't know what transpired here for Sosa and his crew, but something definitely went wrong. The Cheddar's 10 got into a bit of a scruffle or kerfuffle, if you will, out of turn 2, and that's the same spot we saw earlier on. And oh man, he got sent to the shadow realm with that one. That was a huge lick between him and Jerry Rodriguez, and Rodriguez actually has now been a part of the same issues of turn 2 twice now in the same race, involved in this whole madness. Wow, so a bit of a tough break there for him and the crew. Obviously not too thrilled about that, I would say, but he is okay though, and is looking to try to get back onto the ledge here. His drivers now go in for pit road, looking to possibly make their way in and get themselves a breather. Rick Sosa has entered in. Yeah, eventually they will have to go in for fuel and tires because they'll have to try to finish the race out with that. They don't have enough to really get around this parts like that I'm aware of. Philip Bridgman, you know, we've seen him before. We know him all too well here. He's one of those guys that, you just never if you blink on him, he'll literally just sneak up ahead of you. That's the problem with him. And he's very silent assassin-like. He doesn't really make too much noise, but when he gets up in there, man, he'll make you work for it. Jeff Ramsdale knows that all too well. He had to deal with him quite a bit here, and now he'll have to deal with Sean Thomas Lester at the USPostalService.com 47 machine. Supra tried to hang in there and put it into a 3-wide sloop, but a huge runoff on the outside. Boy, he builds up a lot of speed there up on that run and end it. Ramsdale looking to keep his chances in here and trying to keep his run at stake. The front may not be battling too hard, but I'll tell you right now, the backpack, oh boy, that's a different story. You got 5 cars literally battling it out right now in the top 15, top 20, if you will. And they are not holding back whatsoever. This is impressive stuff here from these young guns. 16 Jared Manning now moving his way off the fuel Chevrolet and Camaro machine, trying to keep a little runoff, maybe a little more speed. No relation to Eli Manning down there, I guarantee you that much. I can certainly say probably drives a little bit than Eli would on the NASCAR circuit. And again, I don't know how Eli is. He's a football player, not a NASCAR Cup driver, so, or Xfinity driver in this case. But Something cool, actually, just looking it on right now. Take a look at that 42. You see Lit Tidwell. Look at the little chrome design on that. He's actually like a mirror right there, showing you where all the tracks are, where everything's at. He's showing you like a whole look at what the grandstands look like, what the infield looked like. You can see everything from that little chromed out design of the 42. That is absolutely insane. That's a sweet looking ride to say the least, and it's a great looking machine to be hanging out there and really putting up a number with these drivers. But right now, Sean Thomas Lester, I said earlier on, I don't think he can get that outside line to work. I think he's making a monkey out of me here. He's actually trying to do something what we don't usually see too often here on PTM Racing TV with the Las Vegas, and that's trying to diamond off the top into the bottom. What that means is you drive it up higher, you drive it in a little lower, and in turn you either go lower or you go higher as you hit the apex of the turn. And then as you shoot back up, it's depending on where you're at on the exit, it's how the car handles and makes its way back in. It's a smart move when you're trying to conserve tires and shorten the track out, but it's also kind of a dangerous move because if you're trying to throw a slider, well, let's just say you better hope you got that thing all wrapped up and tight, making sure it stay in line, staying in shape. Richard Crane passed in. He's going to go a lap down. We're just about ready to reach the halfway point here, and Brian Huntley Jr., the 54 Interstate Battery, is trying to hold off the 55 Austin Walker. And that Busch Light 55 Ford Mustang machine just continues to hold back the Interstate Batteries 54. He says, "I don't need a hard charger. I don't need a new battery, man. I just want to keep my Busch all to myself." And yes, for the record, I am an Iowan. So if you guys are wondering, that's why I made that reference earlier on to the trick or treat stuff. So you're welcome. Moving off out of turn 2, though, we got a battle up front here. Braden Muvick in the 56 going to have to deal with Steve Accardi here. Accardi there in the 04 Zaxby's Chevrolet Camaro. Accardi not giving him any chances, not giving him any breathing room. He wants that race lead. He wants it now. Looking to micromanage his way through the turns. Give himself some breathing room, give himself some options here. Leading off the charge, leading off the barracks and off the runs. Man, he just continuously strives to be fast and strives to be good at what he's doing here on this track. And I have a feeling that's exactly what he wanted to know. That's exactly what he wants to see. He doesn't want to worry about anything else but just making his runs and making his moves when he can get there. But again, it's just so difficult to actually put yourself in that place and in that spot when it's really just a matter of time before you see one of them actually get a thing or two of them in those corners. And Accardi, man, he is not giving in share to the 56, but Muvick seems like he's extremely conservative on where he's putting the car in and where he's lining it up at. He seems to be running more towards the top side to conserve tires and fuel. He does have a slight little thing of damage there on the left side there as you see him rocking that Breast Cancer Research Foundation machine. Beautiful looking ride on that one as he continues to celebrate here for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And there it is right there. I was just talking about it. You see that little, you saw the left side, now we're showing you the right side. Look at that little skirt of damage. That's just from tagging the wall out of here at Las Vegas. And that wall protection, well, let's just say it's not very friendly around here. It's not exactly just going to be like a poker table around here and give you a good hand once in a while. No. It will literally make you broke quicker than you can actually get broke around here in Vegas. And Muvick and Accardi are going to go into pit road with Noah Wilson and Derek Castor moving into the top 2 spots with Daniel M. Mulsteller following right behind him. Austin Walker will move into 4th with Ryan Huntley Jr. also staying out. So it looks like pit strategy coming in at the halfway point. That is to be expected, though. Again, pit strategies really make or break a race and make or break your nights. Depending on how you look at it, it either can be the best opportunity or the right time to strike. There's a lot of areas out there, though, that really can make a tough challenge and make a tough racing ordeal. And again, those that have tuned in for the first time here on PTM Racing TV, first off, thank you so much, and we'll get back to my train of thought in a second. We got a battle coming up here on the back straightaway, and we got a little bit of trouble down there as well, though. We got one driver sliding out underneath there, couldn't quite get a number on that one. Well, they'll have to bring him down to pit road. Couldn't see. I think that might have been Sean Thomas Lester getting in there. As they got Brian Huntley Jr. now sneaking his way on the right side. Buvik trying to hold him back, trying to hold him online. We'll have to take a quick look at the PTM Instant Replay because I'm pretty sure that was Lester that was loose there coming off of turn 2. I couldn't tell from that angle. Looked like he might have had some troubles staying inbounds and staying online. I think we got to look at it now. Looks like it might have been Justin Camp. No, it wasn't Justin Campbell out there, so we'll have to leave him alone. I guess I can't find the number that was getting. Oh, wait, yeah, it was Justin Campbell, actually. Excuse me. Here is a PTM Instant Replay. Well, I'll say my producers are driving me insane here, not telling me where it's at, but there it is right there. You see the 18. He drove it in extremely hard off that corner, and Campbell found himself in a real bad spot, a bad area. Smashed the car up pretty bad. The 18 had a lot of damage there. Cost himself big time there. Unfortunately, what a tough break for him and the crew. As the rest of our field continues to strive along, continue to battle it out where they can find it most. Back to the live feed we go. Here the Interstate Batteries 54. Brian Huntley Jr. is currently in second place with Derek Castor, your new leader here. And the Paul Davis 12 Camaro, he's got about a 3-second lead plus there on Huntley. I got a feeling he probably saved his tires up the most out of all of them, and this could be what he was after. Now, there are two ways to really combat the tire wear and the fuel line. Is you can either stay out longer on the first go and then have a little shorter pit stop so you don't have to fill up as much and you don't have to put too many tires on. Or another way is just go well, there's really two ways. It's either that or in reverse, which is basically go in quicker and then go out and then drive out for a longer time. And then the inverse of that, the other side of it, excuse me, would be basically what we're seeing right now, which is go halfway and then get back out on the track and then fight it out with what you had later on. Using knowledge as power is a simple fact and the simple key to victory here for any driver that wants to make it big in any series, whether it be trucks, Xfinity, Cup, or if you're even on the late model side of things. Yes, late models do burn tires up quickly, and they do have a habit of it. Trust me, I've seen it before. Ryan Decker here in the number 10 Chevrolet Camaro trying to muscle his way up to the bullish Ford Mustang 55 of Austin Walker. I don't know why I love saying that. That's just like, it's like the most famous line that I can think of when you come talking about that beer. Austin though, man, he's been rather consistent tonight though. He hanged in there on the top 10, top half, and now he's back in the top 10 zone. He's gonna try and muscle his way up there. As he 8, oh boy, hold on, oh ho! Well, Jerry Rodriguez, I don't know how he saved that one, but he found himself in a little bit of a troublesome spot, managing to keep himself in line and in play, though. The Poppy Bank stays in balance and stays in the movement here. That could have been a bad angle to be stuck into. That could have been a bad area to be ran off of. Thankfully, though, manages to hang on and hold his line down. Brian Huntley Jr. is the last of the drivers that has not gone in pit road. Well, take that back. Sean Derryman and Philip Bridgman, as well as Mason Moriarty, have gone in pit road, and they're trying to get their lap back here. Trying to hang on, trying to knock down Huntley there a little bit as Braden Muvik starts to move the chains in. He's already passed down Philip Bridgman, Moriarty there. Muvik is on the hunt now for this driver right here in the 24, Sean Derryman. Derryman seemingly in an inopulistic spot. Still dealing with guys behind everyone else. Still fighting it out with the best of intentions here. And it looks like Ryan Decker might finally now have a little bit of speed to make his way around Austin Walker. The Oreos, number 10, looking for any kind of run, any kind of speed that he can. Now let's just go ahead and take you guys on a little fun fact train here right tonight. Our top speeds of the drivers we're seeing here, they're reaching up a max worth of 197 miles per hour. They can hit up to speeds about 200 in a good line draft. But the thing is, their best times have been kind of all over the place. They've been kind of uneven and unequal. Best times we're reading here tonight have been pretty much like guys like Brian Huntley Jr. with that 30.77, or if you're going to be even crazier, their most proficient Could be upwards of speeds of 30.7, 30.6. Qualifying times wise, they were hitting around 30.5, 30.4s. And that's really how they've been stabilizing and keeping up with the positions, keeping up their zones here. Last laps being presented now on the Tower of Doom here, our Tower of Power, as some have called it. I guess the kids like saying it's the Tower of Power. Ryan Elliott Jr. now looking to stay out of the way. He knows the interstate barriers 54 does not need any more trouble than he's already in. He's trying to last out as long as he can. We're heading into pit road, but with so many guys passing him in and quickly here, I think it might have been a better time to get in now while he can. So he'll go in and he's going to try and make up that speed that he had just a minute ago with more blistering times and see what happens here. Moving their way off, Steve Accardi now moving into second place once again. Braden Muvick only about 2 seconds ahead, but the thing is, Accardi is not far off. He may be only getting him about a tenth of a second each go around, but that's not saying much because Accardi is waiting for that last 20 laps. I guarantee you. The thing is, you look at the time, look at the times, look at the laps right now. That is pretty telling and pretty stable. It's pretty incredible to me that they've been able to last out as long as they have and last in nearly as much as they have been doing. They've been very patient, I think, more than you would think some of these drivers at their ages they would be. But that's kind of the uniqueness of it, is they just love to really showcase that they can hang with top veterans, top dogs out here, and there are some legitimate tough drivers out here to beat. I've raced with a few of them out on the track before, and I've raced with a few I can't really name off top him who all I've raced with. I know Bridgman is one of them. I've had my pleasure of dealing with Ramsdale plenty of times here, whether it be on the calls or on the track, and he is as fiery as they come when it comes to battling, but he can certainly wheel a race car for the most part when it comes to any series for that matter. But tonight, maybe not so much in his mind because he's having a little bit of trouble trying to knock down the speeds and power that come with running at old Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Philip Mergeman now in the AC Delco 48, now moving quickly up to the Dick's Sporting Goods number 8 Chevrolet Camaro. Noah Wilson had lapped him down a minute ago here. He's looking to try to get that back. He's like, hey, wait a minute, that was my lap. I don't want nobody taking that from me. Give it back here. Although I don't think that's how it works in racing, but I think you got to earn your way back in there. You don't just ask for it and you give it. No, that's definitely not something we need around here. Charles Cadden, we saw him earlier on fighting it out with Jeff Ramsdale in that 97 Tide Pods machine. Had a good showing earlier. Right now, just staying out of trouble, staying in a good shot or two of the runs. Austin Walker, the 55, is now falling back behind Ryan Decker. Looked like Decker had made the Oreos number 10 Chevrolet Camaro just a little bit more in the place in the speed zone he wanted to be in. He's making a pretty good opportunity here to strike while the Aaron's HUD making sure that he knows where he's at on the track. Walker, though, has got a little bit of problems with being with Jerry Rodriguez right beside him, considering how much of that blinking is going on. The glitch graphic gremlins are getting the better here of Rodriguez. It's a scary thought, too, because, again, when you see someone go out like that, you may not think that it looks that bad on camera, but the thing is, they reappear, then all of a sudden that car can actually just completely take you out and send you to the shadow realm before you even know it, and that's the last place anybody wants to be here. Moving along down on the back straightaway here. Anybody's guess who's going to take this one over. The 10 had a good run, but the 55 says, hey, wait a minute, man. You had that spot a little too long. I think I want it back, please. Will he be able to get it, though? Because right now Decker has been extremely confident and really stabilizing himself in that position throughout this race. I don't know if he's going to be able to take him down like that. That's going to be a very tough spot to hit off of. The onboard camera here as everyone continues to use their pit strategy, use their pacing around the track. This is your battle for the 6th spot here. And maybe, if you will, maybe a battle to get up into the hard charge of the night, where Ryan Decker is 17 up and then 19 being Derek Castor right in front of him. But Castor is about 6 seconds ahead I don't know if there's really going to be any time to catch him in this case. Jerry Rodriguez now looking to stay out of trouble and stay in play, though. He's trying to get his laps back from other drivers, but I don't know really if fighting it out with these kind of guys right here would be the smartest of ideas here. Looks like trouble down there for Justin Campbell. He comes to a dead halt here. We'll take a look at the PTM replay and see what transpired here. Looked like maybe a motor went or a tire goes. No, the car just kind of dies off there. You can see the left side kind of breaks down a little bit. Flat tire engaged, and he just says, I'm done, guys. I got to get out of here. Parks it down there, and unfortunately is going to have himself a little bit of a headache to deal with later, but what a tough break for him and his crew there to have to go through that. So Campbell calling it a night, calling this one a day, and frankly, I can't blame him. Unfortunately, with the way his night has been, he's had a lot of unfortunate bad luck in there. Tough showing for him and his crew, but I think we'll see him very, very soon, hopefully. He has been definitely a good sport and a good driver, fighting it out here with some of these top dogs tonight. Brian Huntley Jr. trying to get his laps back, trying to get his speed back onto the hood here. He is currently about 17th position in, as he has the 27 to Joshua Parent right behind him. He put him behind just about 2 laps ago and actually starting to build a lot more momentum off on other drivers. Steve Accardi here, about 2 1/10 back of Brandon Muvick. Muvick seemingly just kind of cruising around the track. That's the best way I can explain it. He hasn't really tried to do anything too crazy or too special. Really, since he got off the start, he just kind of snuck back into the race lead and just kind of stayed in there. Like, he hasn't done any hooping and hollering. He hasn't done anything like all over the place or just crazy to say the least. He's just been, I'm just kind of hanging around here, guys. I'm just going to do my own thing. I don't need to do anything special. Meanwhile, everybody else, well, you can just take a look right behind you. You'll see what we're talking about. That's the complete opposite of what they've been after. The other guys in the back have either been put into pack racing or they've been put into the mix of bumping and banging runs and trying to stay off corners and walls while also trying to avoid each other. And Jarrett Manning's going to find that out the hard way here as the 16 falls back even more so to the 12 and the 22. Dan Moriarty Moriarty, trying to hang in there. I don't know why I said Dan Moriarty. Put back a few spots there, trying to hang in there and stay ahead of the field. 16 of Jarrett Manning was looking to make that move, make that pass around Mason, but it was not able to do it. Now Sean Dairyman kind of put back a few spots as well, so it looks like he's starting to have some extreme bad slowdowns. Again, the tires are probably taking a beating out there and probably starting to slow them up a little bit, so drivers are saying, well, we probably can't do too much. We got to kind of lay off a bit, and the spotters I know are definitely talking to them very constantly, trying to see what their options are and what they're able to do. If I was one of those guys right now, my first thought is, no, I don't want to be trying to make anything too crazy, anything special. I'd rather just try to lay out there and last as long as I can. As Dairyman just continues to fight back whenever he's put back a spot. It seems like he just gets right back in there and says, hey, wait a minute, I can do this move. Can you do it too? He crossed him over there out of turn 2 quite a few times on that back straightaway, making us run in the lead off. I don't know how Moriarty's going to feel about that one, but he is certainly making the chains back in play to get up to Dairyman. Meanwhile, right behind him there, Daniel M. Mosteller. Oh boy, this fella has just been he's been pounding the loud pedal tonight. Making many runs and making many shapes and twists and turns wherever he goes, and he just has had no troubles staying with the crew and staying with these drivers. But if there is a downside to all of this, he also found himself kind of in a rough spot here coming off of turn 4 earlier on when he almost got spun around completely. They take him for the long, hard ride. Dairyman and Moriarty now going to lead it in. Excuse me, that is the 12 of Castor. With Moriarty right behind him here. That's what I was trying to say. Castor maybe on the lead lap at the moment, but with Mosteller right behind him actually building a lot of speed. This battle between Dairyman and Castor is not looking good at all for anyone other than Mosteller, because really that means Caster has to slow up a little bit and has to give up position, not being able to hit the same line over and over again. And with Mosteller, he's taking full awareness of it and taking a good long look at how he's doing it. One thing I'm kind of knowing around here is also, I thought honestly I was kind of having a little bit of a ice check here, or eyesore, but it turns out there's actually just a lot of Chevrolet Camaros out on the track. I thought, I've seen a lot of Ford Mustangs and Supras on the track when it comes to any kind of series and league races, but I don't think it's I think it's been the first time I've seen so many Chevrolet Camaros represented in any of these racing series. A lot of unique cars out there, though, and there's still a fair share of Fords and Toyotas, so we can't say there's too many Chevrolets out on the track. 56 now, leading it back in, reading it down off the bottom lane there. The 29 trying to stay at least out of trouble, if you will, somewhat. Devin Mosley. He got kind of caught off in a bit of a bad spot earlier. He was the one that brought out the first caution of the night when he ended up going 3 wide slow there out of the turn 2. I know means really, I think he was trying to do that. He was trying to get into that spot, but you know, that's kind of the risk you run when you're running out here with some top tier guys and some speeds that build up around here. Laps finishing off, and Muvik as your race leader, still holding back while Alcardi is actually built up speed and got his time back from him. He actually has gone from 2 seconds, from 2.10 to 1.7. That's a big difference now, even 1.6. He's starting to really reel him in. Like a big fish in the open waters for a game catch. He's looking to take this one away from him. But with 14 laps remaining, Muvik is in the driver's seat to win it all as long as he stays focused and stays in play. Rest of your top 5, nothing really too special going on there. Derek Caster, he's got a lot more runoff there on Mosteller after the little war he went to there for just a brief moment with Mason Moriarty in them, and Sean Derryman especially. And unfortunately for Derryman, though, you heard him kind of smacking that wall around a little bit out of turn 2. Once again, another driver falls victim to the flat spots of the exits of 2 and 4. And this time it's Derryman who literally, you can see that right side, it is scraped up, badly damaged there. That is hurting his speed and hurting his runoff. The Jax Callis is in trouble yet again because he's going to have Caster right behind him, looking to put him another few spots down in the lap down category. Paul Davis looking to make the move and make the charge. Not able yet to pass him in. Still hanging in there nevertheless. Devin Mosley coming on board here tonight saying this is a great broadcast. Devin, appreciate coming on board, sir. Thank you for the support in the comments, sir. We always love being able to be with the fans and friends and family here and see what you guys are up to and if you're enjoying these shows. And it is good to hear that right there. So, final laps lead in. Derryman trying to hang on, trying to keep up with the distance. Derek Caster moving him on up, moving on in position. Looks like he'll have himself some breathing room as he continues to move almost 4 seconds ahead there of Mosteller. And Muvik now finally gets the head of Arcady, excuse me. I don't know why it was so hard to say Arcady there for a minute. I'm sorry, Steve. I know I'm probably gonna look back at this broadcast and think, wait a minute, why did the announcer have so much trouble saying my last name? Believe me, there's a lot of folks that have trouble saying my last name too. But so I am apologizing right now until. Whole field kind of spread out, except for the guy is kind of leaning more towards in the back. Brian Huntley Jr. being one of them. Give credit where credit's due to this guy, man. He went in for a late pit stop. He's doing a last-minute runoff, and he's built a strange amount of speed here on the last closing bit of this race here. Trying to sneak his way up ahead and trying to sneak his way down in position zone. He's got the 16 of Manning. Oh, kind of battled him off a little bit there. Kind of crossing him over, kind of get him all bent out of shape every which way to Sunday on these parts. How they were able to keep that thing online, keep that thing in play is beyond me. That would have been a nasty little spill there, a nasty little spot to be in, but he still hangs on. Moriarty kind of finding himself on the line, finding himself on the run as well. Keeping everything in play, keeping everything in rhythm, as everything should be in his mind. Derek Castor, thanks for coming on board. Derek, thank you for coming on tonight, my friend. Love having him love seeing the new faces here. Again, if you guys are enjoying the show, I think you know what to do, so I'll leave it at that right now. Manning, though, I'm not sure if he's literally being an Eli Manning out there and just throwing the ball wherever he wants to, or in this case, throwing the car wherever he needs to. Man, he is just trying to hang on to that thing. Remember, these guys only have so much power steering they can work with. They've got a lot more trouble to deal with on just trying to battle it out with these drivers and battle it out with everyone around these tracks. And I don't know how on earth he's able to still hang that thing on line, keep it in play, but that's kind of the beauty that comes with the race here. The 10 of Ryan Decker here, he had to go in pit road once again, ends up pulling himself back quite a few spots. Didn't set up enough fuel and the tires burnt up a little too much. Brian Huntley Jr. trying to let him be and let him go. He hears from the in-car radio, let him go by on the outside. He let him go by all right and got him out of trouble. Steve Accardi here, unfortunately, the Zaxby 04 not looking good when it comes to catching up to Braden Muvik. Muvik is just starting to take center stage and take center shape here. He looks like he's got this one all wrapped up. What a night this would be for him and the crew to be able to showcase on the first time on PTM Racing TV ever that he has the speed, he had the transitions, he had the runoff to keep everything in play and everything online. And really, I think if anything, that is the telling of the tale, and that is just a showcase of how well these drivers were time and time again. Coming down the edges and the clutches here, though it is still anybody's race, anybody's chance here. If something crazy happens around here, we've seen it before where you can never catch your chickens till they hatch. We've seen races that have literally gone to a fuel strategy situations. We've seen drivers really get stuck in the wrong place at the wrong time. We've seen a lot of insane moments, insane stuff just kind of take away a driver's chances at winning the big one. Fighting them off here, about 3.5+ seconds between Steve Accardi and Braden Muvik, with only 2 to go this time by, though Muvik is going to see green one last time out of turn number 4. The next time he trades in for white, one more then it goes to checkered flag. Derek Castor, the 12, still hanging in there though. Daniel M. Molsteller was hoping to catch him later on. He thought he had a bit of a break there when these guys were battling out amongst themselves, but it did not play out that way. Derek Castor, there's one thing he can say, though, is that he is the ultimate hard charger of the night. Starts back in 24th and just uses correct strategy, uses correct pit stops to move his way into 4th. Noah Wilson, nothing else to say there other than just putting on a great show with the Dick's Sporting Goods 8. Steve Accardi, a strong battle from him to fight it out with Braden Muvik, but as white flag draws in and draws near, the 56 of Muvik has the race lead and the win all but wrapped up. He just needs 2 more good corners. Coming out of the corners, turns through 3, leading it down out of turn 4. Ladies and gentlemen, Braden Muvik is going to send it to the casinos. He wins here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. An impressive display of raw horsepower and showing from that number 56 driver in the Camaro tonight. That, as I said before, and I'll say it again, the Camaros were out to dominate. They were out to impress, and they certainly did just that and then some. Absolute incredible race for everyone involved, and a big congratulations to that number 56. What a race here in a showcase from these drivers. First time they ever are on PTM Race TV, and I think they race to impress. Final results now popping up on your screen here. Braden Muvik is the race winner. Second going to Steve Accardi. Third to Noah Wilson. Fourth to Derek Astor. Fifth to Daniel M. Steller. Sixth to Joshua Aarons. Seventh to Austin Walker. Eighth to Devin Mosley. Ninth to Philip Bridgman. 10th to Sean Derryman. Rounds out the top 10 here today. Here's your other finishers here as well, ranked in their specific order, their specific spots. Some not able to make the grid or make the track here tonight, which is a tough break, but I think it'll be only a matter of time before we see them return onto this show. Well, while the drivers have a little bit of fun down there, we'll go ahead and bring in your top three here tonight. Race fans starting up from third. It is Noah Wilson in the number 8, and Noah, you had pretty much the top 5 wrapped up from the moment you came onto the grid, but you then called back just a little bit here, starting from second with the early caution and the early madness, but you still hang into that third place. How did it feel out at Las Vegas?
Honestly, it felt pretty good. I was really saving tires. I wasn't quite sure if we were going to have a long run or not. Wasn't really expecting having one caution early in the race. I was just kind of, saving the tires because I kind of knew there was some young guys out there that probably didn't have experience saving tires. But overall, I think it was a spectacular race. It felt good to be out there. It felt good to just be logging some laps and the car feeling great.
Certainly indeed here now. I gotta tell you, man, really watching you and these other guys go at it certainly showed why the Thunderstorm League of Racing can definitely go at it with the best of them. But I would say if you could do anything differently, would you have tried to do a longer run here with the car, or would you have tried maybe to build up more speed from the tires in here at Vegas?
I'm not sure because maybe at the start of that restart, maybe I could have been slightly a little bit more aggressive, but I just really wanted to save the tires, and the guys that were more aggressive than me were pretty much the two that finished in front of me. So I don't know if there was any much different. I think I should have done, or maybe could have tried to done, maybe race slightly more aggressive, or maybe change my pitch strategy a little bit. Maybe, and I was honestly thinking about two tires, but I knew it was probably not going to be the best idea. But I think the only thing different I could have done for a better outcome was probably something different that was a gamble in the pit stop.
For sure there. Well, no, definitely. What a moment here in time for you at Vegas. I know you'll be probably heading down the casinos, playing up a little crafts down there, but nevertheless, you're still walking away third place here at Vegas. So is there anybody you want to thank here for this finish?
I'd like to thank Chase for keeping this league, help him add in this race, and everybody else that joined in the race, to thank them for coming in and putting on a very good show for the broadcast and just the league. This league has really started growing. I mean, last year it was a struggle. This year, I'm talking, we having a 26 car field is absolutely unbelievable. And just want to thank everybody for being there. And just want to thank also my grandfather. On the cup or the next gen cars, I run his insurance, Buddy Popel Insurance. But I want to thank him mostly for getting me into all this racing. But other than that, I'd just like to give one big last thank you to you in the stream, and also everybody that came in and raced and made it a really, really good one. Thankful for all of them.
Well, we appreciate it. Letting us come on board here and showcase your league and your crew here tonight. What a great showing for the team and everyone. Congratulations on that second place finish, sir, and we certainly hope to see you all very soon.
Yes, thank you very much. Hope to see you another future broadcasts.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your third place finisher here tonight, Noel Wilson in that number 8 machine. Well, he piloted down into second place here tonight, but I think he was really after that first place spot considering the speeds he could carry. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Steve Accardi. And Steve, we were talking about it a little bit on the broadcast. We were seeing you really charge in and really give us some speed on Muvik, but the last half, it wasn't the same as the first half. You think Muvik was kind of playing you a little bit there for that first half?
Yeah, well, I think where the big difference came here at the end of the race was that pit stop. He got me pretty good there. After green flag pit stops, just coming off pit road to about 2 seconds, that's about the distance it stayed the whole time. So I think whoever got off pit road first there at the end was probably going to end up winning that race.
Yeah, that's it. Seemed like that pit road stops were really either the make it or break it's here. But man, you certainly did show a strong racing background, strong racing driving style when it came to, making your way up to the front. And really, was there anything that you felt like Vegas kind of did more so than anything with the fuel, the tires, or what do you feel like it was for you here at Vegas that kind of slowed you up a little?
After that green flag pit stop, the track really changed quite a bit. It got really tight, and I wasn't quite anticipating it for it to get quite so tight. So we couldn't quite carry the speeds that we were able to do for that first run. They dropped off quite a bit there. Even with fresh tires, I was still probably about 6-7 mile an hour slower than I was on fresh tires to start the race. So it was definitely more saving tires there that second run, I think.
It seemed like it, but nevertheless, though, my friend, you are still coming away second place, and I think at Vegas, second place is better than nothing because at least you come away with some money. So at the end of the day, who do you want to thank you for this finish, sir?
Uh, I just want to thank, obviously, Chase and Noah for putting on this league, and thank you all for picking up the broadcast. You seem to do a real good job, so thank you for that.
I appreciate your time and support there, Cardi. Congratulations on your second place finish, man. We certainly hope to see you very soon on PTM Race TV once again.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your second place finisher here tonight. That is Steve Accardi, the number 04. Well, race fans, he's going to walk away with the W. He's popping away with the win, and it looks like he's heading to the casinos. Give it up for Braden Muvik. I hope I'm saying your name right, by the way. No, I've been kind of having troubles with last names all night tonight.
Oh, you're saying it right.
Okay, just double checking here. But hey, man, what a show for you and the crew. You're having a great race all the way through the end. You had pretty much escaped the troubles from the first caution where everyone got kind of collided in. And then from there, it just seemed like you just had the thing on autopilot. What was the car doing down there that you make it so fast?
Well, I think the way my car handled over the bumps in turn 1 and 2 on the bottom, that really helped me maintain the lead and then eventually pull away later in the race. And just the way that race went, bottom was the way to go. And I've learned from some of the best people, some of the best drivers in iRacing, that if you can wrap the bottom well, you won't be touched the entire race.
Certainly there, but I mean, man, it looked like from all ends of the spectrum, it seemed like these guys were trying to catch you in corners where they couldn't, and it just seemed like when you were slowing up a bit on that last half, it seemed like Accardi might have had a chance to catch up to you. At any point, were you a little worried about him or anything like that?
I was definitely worried towards the end of the first run because he was on my bumper that entire run. But after the pit stops, I grew my lead out by like a second and a half compared to before the pit stops. And I kind of just maintained it at the 2-second gap until about like 15 to go. He started to drop off. So it was quite smooth sailing for me, to be honest, after the pit stops. But it was a really fun race, fun car to drive.
Certainly was fun to watch you go at and really showcase that speed and momentum throughout this night and event. My friend, you are walking away with the W and taking this all home. Anybody you want to thank here tonight from here at Vegas?
I'd like to thank my teammates, Daniel Mosteller, Mason Moriarty, and Jerry Rodriguez, and one of my best mentors in iRacing, Terrell Baker. He really helped me. All of them really helped me figure out how to run the place well. So all my thanks go to them.
I think they will certainly be appreciative of the support and the love given there, my friend. But nevertheless, Braden, you are walking away with the W and the victory here at Las Vegas. Congratulations to you and your crew, man. Definitely well-deserved and earned here tonight.
All right, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight in the number 56, Braden Muvik. Race fans, that is your showcase. That is the telling of the tale here for Thunderstorm League of Racing here tonight. A big thank you to them for having us come on out here and showcase to you this race and all that, and then some. Hopefully, certainly hope you've enjoyed it. And until the green flag is flying high next time on PTM Racing TV, please be safe. God bless. Take care. We love you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Stay tuned with us here on PTM Racing TV.